as esteemed worthies, luminaries in the field of law and the guiding force behind the wheels of justice, including our Honorable Chief Guest, the Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Qazi Faiz Isa. Sir, your presence amplifies the significance of this event, and we are truly grateful for your support and encouragement. Once again, I welcome you all, and without further ado, let us formally commence this event by standing in union as we have to honor our national anthem. Please play the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Hayat Ali Shah, the Director General of the Federal Judicial Academy. With a distinguished career dedicated to the advancement of legal education and training, Mr. Hayat brings a wealth of expertise to our conference on women in law. His commitment to fostering inclusive legal environment and promoting gender equality within the judicial system serves as an inspiration to all of us. Please welcome Mr. Hayat Ali Shah.
Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah. Honorable Chief Justice, Justice Qazi Faiz Isa, Honorable Sayyid Mansur Ali Shah, the Supreme Court and Advisory Board of Governors, Federal Judicial Academy, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, EU Head of Cooperation, Country Representative of the UN Women, NCSC experts, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum and a very good afternoon. The management of the Federal Judicial Academy and staff at the Federal Judicial Academy feels honored to welcome you all this 8th day of March 2024. Today we are marking International Women's Day in collaboration with UN Women and support from European Union. It on one hand reminds us unmeasurable sacrifices, strengths given to us throughout by our mothers, sisters, spouses, and daughters. And on the other, it provides us an opportunity to reflect on it and acknowledge the contribution made by women workers in judiciary, women working in the judiciary. As an institution, FJA has always played its role in ensuring gender responsive justice, which is the sole objective for our collaboration with UN Women. This is in pursuance of the realization of our constitutional duty as well as the religious obligation. Over the years, Federal Judicial Academy has trained 2,713 women judges and court staff, besides hundreds of female lawyers and law officers, thus empowering them to be part of diversity that can bring the change. Today, FJ and UN Women have achieved another milestone towards women empowerment. State-of-the-art e-studio has just been inaugurated. It would serve a fundamental step towards reaching out to women judges and other female of far-flung areas connected with legal profession through online training programs. It would ultimately contribute towards their empowerment and would ensure equal opportunity and diversity. We are happy to see women judges, court staff, research officers, law clerks, female interns of the FJ and female staff members of the Supreme Court, Islamabad High Court, and the District Judiciary. We are also thankful to the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan for his presence today, which is also a message to women judges and women in the legal profession that judiciary is an institution, as an institution is cognizant of their rights and that no stone shall be left unturned for ensuring equal opportunity and mainstream. We are also grateful to Honorable Mr. Justice Sayyid Mansoor Ali Shah, advisor to the Academy, for his guidance and leadership in conducting activities in line with mandate of the Federal Judicial Academy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Joining us today is Mr. Lansana Wale, the esteemed country representative of women in Pakistan, with a profound dedication to advancing women's rights and empowerment. Mr. Mune has been instrumental in driving transformative change across various sectors. His tireless efforts in promoting gender equality resonate deeply with the theme of our conference, making his insight invaluable to our discussion. I warmly welcome to Mr. Lansana Bune to please come to the stage and have you for 2 words for us.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The Honorable Chief Justice, Justice Kaji Bezais, the Honorable Justice Mansoor Ali Shah, other justices present here today, Mr. Jerome Williams, the Head of Cooperation from the EU, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I bring you profound appreciation and greetings from the United Nations Institute for Gender Equality and Empowerment of Women. And let me at the outset say that I've been here only for 3 weeks, and therefore allow me to make mistakes and accommodate them if I do make those mistakes. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, happy International Women's Day. Today is a particular day dedicated by the World Body to celebrate the achievements of women across the world, but it is also a day to reflect on the challenges remaining. Before I came to Pakistan, and I must say, in my high school, one of my teachers was Mr. S.M. Shah. He taught me physics. And I felt the Pakistani society is extraordinarily conservative. But I've been pleasantly surprised, which means that in the journey for gender equality, there is hope. Therefore, I'm profoundly grateful that just 3 weeks in Pakistan, I'm sharing a platform with the Chief Justice of this country and several other judges. Perhaps this is the first time I'm in the company of so many judges at one point in time. So on that note, let me thank the European Union that have made these resources available to the UN women to work with the government and in particular this academy to establish the studio that we are about to launch today. Thank you very much. So, saying thank you doesn't mean I want to go away. I'm happy to be here for the whole day. I have just been introduced as a champion for gender equality, and what that demonstrates is that the fight for the empowerment of women and equality is a fight for everybody. And because inequality for women is perpetrated by men, it is about time that we, the men, jump into this campaign and make sure that truly we transform the world. Women everywhere in the world, not only in Pakistan, do face challenges and are disadvantaged in various segments of society. But one significant segment is the judiciary, which you all represent, and for so many reasons. One is about making sure that the judiciary itself is inclusive, that women are there at the top leadership. I'm not campaigning to have the next Chief Justice to be a woman. However, if that is possible, please go ahead. But what is more important is how do we make access to justice for women possible, easier, in particular those who are far behind. Today we are in the technological world, in the digital space, and that is one way we can be able to make our reach too far, even to those who are far away from Islamabad. So the studio we are about to launch today is the first step in making sure that we realize that. I believe that women and the Federal Judicial Academy, with the support of EU, but also I believe other partners will be inspired to take this journey beyond Islamabad to the provinces, and we look forward to that. I'm grateful for the partnership, and be rest assured that women will remain a trusted partner in this journey until we make sure that women truly realize justice and they are empowered in Pakistan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lansana. Women judges in Pakistan have made significant contributions to the legal field by bringing a unique perspective and advocating for gender equality and women's rights. These judges have played a crucial role in interpreting laws from a gender-sensitive lens, ensuring fair and just outcomes for cases involving women's rights, like domestic violence, family disputes, and other gender-related issues. Their presence on the bench has helped in fostering diversity, inclusivity, and sensitivity towards gender issues within the judicial system. Women judges in Pakistan have become role models for aspiring female lawyers and judges, inspiring more women to pursue careers in the legal profession, thus breaking gender barriers and empowering women in the society. Women judges who dedicate their lives to the cause of justice represent the epitome of courage, resilience, and commitment. Through their unwavering dedication, they not only uphold the principles of fairness and equality, but also inspire positive change within the legal system. Their tireless efforts to ensure justice for all, regardless of gender, race, or social status, exemplify the highest ideals of the judiciary. In return of their invaluable services, these remarkable women judges often find that the system responds to them with recognition, respect, and appreciation. Their contributions shape legal precedents, influence policies, and pave the way for a more inclusive and equitable society. Their impact extends beyond the courtroom, fostering a culture of empowerment and advancement for future generations of women in the legal profession. As trailblazers, the role models, these women judges demonstrate that the pursuit of justice knows no bound. Their legacy serves as a testament to the transformative powers of perseverance and determination in the face of adversity. By rewarding their duties, the legal system reaffirms its commitment to upholding the principle of justice and acknowledges the invaluable contributions of women in shaping the course of legal history. Such women are also around us. So today, we have the honor to meet some of these ladies who have paved their path towards excellence. So, with a round of applause, I would like to invite Ms. Shaira Shafar, staff member, Supreme Court of Pakistan. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Shaira Shafar, a valued member of the staff at the esteemed Supreme Court of Pakistan. With her dedication and hard work, Ms. Shafar plays an essential role in supporting the operations of the highest court in the land. Next, I request Ms. Bilkis Bano to join us on the stage. Ms. Bilkis is a young, enthusiastic lawyer and currently serving as a law clerk at the esteemed Supreme Court of Pakistan. Her attention to detail and expertise in legal analysis contributes significantly to the efficient functioning of the court. Next, I request Ms. Zila, a civil judge cum judicial magistrate, who has paved her path towards an accomplished research officer serving at the Supreme Court of Pakistan with a dedication to scholarly inquiry and a keen understanding of legal intricacies. Ms. Huma plays a crucial role in supporting the judicial process through rigorous analysis and insightful research. We are honored to have her here today, so please join us. She has already joined us. Now I request Ms. Inaugural, Secretary, Law and Justice Commission of Pakistan. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce Ms. Inaugural, the esteemed Secretary of Law and Justice Commission of Pakistan, with a distinguished career dedicated to the administration of justice and the promotion of legal excellence. Next, I request to join us Ms. Farah Jamshed, the Director General of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Judicial Academy. Ms. Jamshed has been a driving force in shaping the future of the legal profession in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. Under her leadership, the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Judicial Academy has played a pivotal role in equipping judicial officers with the knowledge and skills necessary to uphold the principles of justice and equality. And here comes the turn of Ms. Zila Hassan, Registrar Supreme Court of Pakistan. We want to give her a big round of applause. It is a great pleasure that we welcome Ms. Zila Hassan, the distinguished Registrar of the Supreme Court of Pakistan, to our conference on women in law. With a career dedicated to administration of justice and the advancement of the legal system, Ms. Hassan has played a pivotal role in ensuring the smooth functioning of one of the Pakistan's most esteemed judicial institution. Her expertise in legal affairs and her commitment to upholding the principles of fairness and equality makes her a valuable asset to our judiciary and to our discussion as well. And now I respectfully invite the chair, Ms. Justice Saman Rifat Imtiaz, Justice of Islamabad High Court. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in extending a warm welcome to Ms. Justice Saman Rifat Imtiaz from Islamabad High Court with a distinguished career marked by a steadfast commitment to justice and equality. Justice Imtiaz has emerged as a beacon of inspiration within the legal community. Her dedication to upholding the rule of law and advocating for gender equality exemplifies the highest ideals of the judiciary. As we delve into the discussion on the role of women in law, Justice Imtiaz's insights and experiences will undoubtedly enrich our dialogue and illuminate pathways toward more inclusive legal system. So we are honored to have her here. Now we'll start the discussion. So I give the mic to the chair to start the panel discussion time. Can everybody hear me?
I'm and the bar can second. Oh yeah. The bar can take second.
Foreign dignitaries, respected district court judges, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Very warm welcome to everybody in the session and happy Women's Day to everyone in the room and everyone watching us on the live stream. So this was a question that we were discussing before walking into the hall. That a lot of the times my male colleagues also ask me, why do we have to be dragged to these events? And why can't women just get together and discuss their issues? What do we have to do with them? So a big shout out to all the men in the room for being here. I thought it was necessary to address this issue, although your presence here marks that you already know the answer to it. But despite being here, if anyone has any doubts lurking in their mind, let me clear them. If you belong to a certain segment of society which is either in the minority or is underrepresented for any reason, it doesn't make sense for members of that segment to just get together and discuss and tell each other what they already know firsthand about the situation. That serves no purpose. The idea is to reach out to the majority and to those segments of society which are privileged and to open a dialogue. And for that, these types of events are very helpful and conducive to understanding each other. Now, first of all, I'd like to clarify that women by no means constitute the minority. We are almost 50%, if not more, maybe just a little under 50%. But at any rate, we are a significant portion of the society and not the minority. Also, most cases, women outlive most men. So, by that token also, we should not be taken lightly. The unfortunate part is that we are underrepresented in the workforce, especially in the judiciary, which in Pakistan is still largely male-dominated. Which is why these panelists over here are trailblazers who have broken barriers, and we would like to hear from them. But before that, a little bit of history. Why March 8th? So, Women's Day was not always celebrated on March 8th. There were various other dates on which it was celebrated. But it came to be associated firmly with March 8th because the women, the female textile workers in Russia around the time of the Russian Revolution lodged their protest on March 8th to call an end to the First World War. And since then, lots of other countries have also adopted March 8th as their Women's Day. And finally, in 1975, it was adopted by the UN and declared as International Women's Day. So just a little bit of historical trivia. Before we open the floor for the discussion, which will be in line with the usual tradition that International Women's Day is observed to celebrate the achievements of women, to highlight their struggles, their challenges, to also identify opportunities for them. And you will be hearing along that theme from the panelists. But before that, I think it's also important to remember and pay tribute to the women of the past who have paved the way for all of us, and without whom none of the women would be sitting here today. Just recently, in December of 1923, we completed and we celebrated 100 years of women in law. The significance of that is that just over 100 years ago, women were not allowed to practice law. And I'm very proud to say
that there were these three courageous women from the subcontinent who, around the turn of century, the last century, decided to take up law as a profession. Cornelia Sorabji is probably one of the most well-known of the three, and her name is the easiest to pronounce also. She was from Bombay, another lady from Patna, and another one from Calcutta. Around the same time, decided to go to law school. Cornelia Sorabji actually went to Oxford, got a degree. But when the time came for her to practice law and to get her license, all three of them were refused by their respective bar councils. And the reason given was that the word person used in the Legal Practitioners Act in force at the time did not include women. I want to pause here to let that sink in, that it's only been 100 years since women have been recognized legally as persons. And that brings me to the present time, that although we might have gained legal recognition as persons 100 years ago, oftentimes, unfortunately, at the workplace, we are not treated as such. And that is what we are here to talk about. Some of us will shed more light on it, with the help of their own personal experiences. And we will also talk about how these ladies have managed to create a space for them despite those odds. So without further ado, let's open the floor for the discussion.
So my first question is to Ms. Jazira Aslam. Ma'am, you have been in the district judiciary for such a long time. How did you find your space at the Supreme Court of Pakistan, or how were you appointed as the first women registrar of the Supreme Court of Pakistan? Please enlighten us.
Thank you, Shazia, and all these guests. I'm honored to be here. I was serving as a district and sessions judge. It has been a long career. I joined in 1994, and it's been almost 3 decades now. I was the first women district and sessions judge at Jaipur, Kasur, and also at Bukhara district. The role of a district sessions judge is quite an independent role, an independent administrative role, and leader of the whole district. The registrar is the post of the registrar is entirely different. It's more administrative. According to the Supreme Court rules, the registrar is the executive head of the office of the Supreme Court and cannot leave Supreme Court without the permission of the Chief Justice, and no staff can leave without the permission of the registrar. It's no doubt a very prestigious post, but very honorsome and very tough, I believe. So I was a bit apprehensive about it, but someone actually challenged me to accept this challenge. And someone said to me that I could not say no, and those words still echo. So I accepted this challenge. It was indeed very difficult in the beginning. Supreme Court was a entirely new atmosphere for me. It was my first experience in the Constitutional Court. When I joined my office, my desk was all filled up with files, most immediate, most urgent, for eyes only, confidential. So I was quite overwhelmed, but I couldn't find any support from the staff role. I was told there is no secretary to the registrar, no staff officer to the registrar, and all the registrars, they do it themselves. I don't know whether it was because I was the first woman, I was a woman registrar, that nobody was helping me, there was no support. There were previously 2 additional registrars who were supposed to help the registrar, one on the administrative side and the other on the judicial side. But they had to go sit down. So I had to handle everything single-handedly. But I was determined to do it. I had no other option. I was actually in the fight or flight mode, but I luckily survived. I got. And
We knew that you could do that. That's why we had a trust in you. We were really proud of you.
thank you.
So much.
Besides the challenges at the office, I had also some personal challenges like I was told that there is no designated residence for the registrar. I had left all my family in Lahore, the other province, and I was all alone in the big, beautiful city of Islamabad. That was also a challenge to find my own place. But I learned that we have to find solutions to our challenges and problems ourselves. And I think women are good at multitasking also. So that is why that was also enhanced, I think, to me. Um, I think one of the most serious challenge, or the most difficult challenge was when I got serious security threat, though I got very graphic, disturbing messages on phone. Of course, I had to report those, and those are still under investigation because cybercrime game. Was a very graphic images of adult disciplinary that were constantly appearing on my phone. So I think internally those did cause some disturbance to me. But in the end, now I think that those actually made me more strong and more resilient. And I'm really thankful to all the men, all the persons who helped me be here, and also your Chief Justice and the others who trust in me. And I think it's been a wonderful experience in the end in the Supreme Court. Although challenging, but for one of the most amazing experience, learning experience at the Supreme Court.
Now, moving forward, my next question is to Ms. Farah Sheikh. She is a district and sessions judge, and currently she is playing her role as Director General for Judicial Academy. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Judicial Academy. So, ma'am, what are the ways men can be good allies, and how could we go about breaking down barriers that hold women back? With specification of your role, please enlighten us.
Thank you, Shazia. Assalamualaikum. Good afternoon. And first of all, it's Happy Women's Day. Shazia, whenever I heard the stories of struggle, challenge, and discrimination faced by the women, I always considered myself very lucky to be blessed with very supportive family, seniors, and I administrative head of the High Court. I was the fourth female judge of the province when I joined the division. But I found KP Judiciary very open to accept women amongst them. But it doesn't mean that everything is very rosy and ideal out there. The job itself is very challenging and demanding. And there are very social and cultural factors as well. And those factors were there for me too. But as I said, that my family, before marriage and after marriage, both, they were very supportive and understanding. So, first thing which I realized when I joined this job is that there is no welcome drink for anyone, be it a male or a female. And I never made my gender an issue to restrict me and not to grow professionally and personally. I did my level best, and whenever I was given any job, I never said no to that. I accepted it, and I did my best, and with my own ability and competence, I tried my best to prove that I can be treated equal as a judge without the title of a female judge.
Later, when I was appointed as the leading KP Judicial Academy, the PSO called me that I have a meeting with the Chief Justice. I had many apprehensions because I was thinking that there must be other prospective candidates. But surprisingly, when I went there and I entered the chamber of the Chief Justice, Honorable Chief Justice, he welcomed me as the DG of the KP Judicial Academy and congratulated me, and he expressed his full confidence in my abilities. So that was quite an encouragement for me. And he gave me quite an independent space, working space and environment, and he never curtailed or limited my independent space in any manner. And I realized that when, before that I was the Dean Faculty of the Academy, and I realized that there was no space for the small children to accompany their mothers who come to the academy for training activities. So the first step which I did in my capacity as the DG of the academy, I set up a daycare center with the help of and it provided a really encouraging and comfortable environment not only to the participants but also to the working team and staff over there. Although they don't have that small kids which could be put in the daycare center, but still the facility is there. Then secondly, I ensure that I am accessible to all, irrespective of their gender and irrespective of their status. If I'm not in a meeting and they have any issue, they can come directly to me without approaching PPS. I'm always there for them. And I find that the women who are there, participants especially, they participate in each and every activity. Previously, I noticed that when the activity is over and everyone is out there for the mess or for the play, the women will be huddled up in one corner and all the male participants will be sitting in the front seats as if it's their birthright. So I made it a policy of the academy that all activities, whether within the classroom or outside the classroom, it should be all inclusive. And there is no gender-based during those activities. And if some third observing lady wants to have a meal exclusively, I have a female common room upstairs and they can go and have their meal over there. But otherwise, they have to sit on the same table, they have to sit in the same common room just to share ideas and exchange views. And but that's I guess. Yeah. I have 8 directors and out of 2 states, 3 are the female. And I made them feel confident that they can share their ideas and they are heard while we are designing the curriculum, we are designing the schedule of activities, or there is some research. They are never excluded. And during the training activities, especially when we have some evening activities, to encourage the participant, female participation, I personally attend those activities just to make them feel comfortable during those activities. But it is not mandatory for the female directors that they have to attend. If they want to attend, it is an option for them. And I feel that sometimes female has to take that first initiative or first step. So in my leadership role, I created my own space. And I created space for the women who are associated in any manner with the Judicial Academy. I just provided them an atmosphere and I just try my best to give them that extra push so that they can take that space which is out there for them. Thank you.
Thank you very much. With that, Secretary Royal Distribution of Pakistan is Sifat Inaugural. So my next question is to you, ma'am. Your journey to the first women's city of Royal Distribution of Pakistan would be punctuated by both challenges and achievements. So the audience would be keen to hear your vision and strategies to leverage this commission for the betterment of women in gender and judiciary in particular.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. In my capacity as the Secretary Royal Distribution of Pakistan, I feel honored to talk to all of you on this momentous brilliant of the Bhashan.
I have always believed that one should be brave enough to effectively raise one's voice on issues of concerns. And hailing from a modern city, my grandmother, my first mentor, used to emphasize, we are all born for a purpose, and you should seek yours. Throughout my journey, this advice enabled me to overcome societal, professional, gender-related challenges. During my sojourn of life, I encountered numerous challenges, but they helped me to shape my path and strengthen my character. As the first woman in my family to pursue career in law, I embarked on this journey with a deep-seated commitment and determination to brush aside antagonistic societal norms and pursue further opportunities for upward mobility. By securing Hubert Humphrey Fellowship and being the first female judge from Pakistan to attend the University of Minnesota, United States, I overcame barriers imposed by a male-dominated society and family. This gave me courage, confidence, and the ability to withstand all the odds. Then, transitioning my various roles at the national level, including my tenure at the National Commission on Status of Women, Foreign Office, Ministry of Law, Human Rights, NAB, threw upon me various challenges in the traditionally male-dominated society, which gave me the courage to keep on doing in its all circumstances. My journey has taught me valuable lessons that I wish to share. I emphasize for my fellow female colleagues the importance of actively seeking out formal and informal resources and support networks that can aid in navigating challenges. This may involve seeking mentorship, engaging with formal and informal school groups, or pursuing continuous knowledge and training opportunities to enhance skills and knowledge. I encourage women to prioritize self-care practice that nurture their well-being, enhance confidence, and cultivate resilience. By investing in personal growth and seeking those sources, when every woman has the capability to overcome barriers, optimize her potential, and contribute meaningfully to the society. Moving on to my capacity as the Secretary Law and Justice Commission, I will share some of the achievements and initiatives we have been undertaking. At the core of our efforts lies the National Judicial Policy, a cornerstone that embeds gender equality within our judicial framework, whereby we have implemented crucial measures to safeguard the rights and well-being of the women across Pakistan. Our commitment to women's rights is exemplified through the establishment of gender-based violence code, which has successfully resolved 42,000 cases against violence across the country. Our emphasis on legislative reforms has led us to streamlining of more than 50 laws related to women and children. Additionally, over 33 women-specific legislation they have been translated into local language for their understanding that. Moreover, our endeavor to empower women judicial officers, we are advocating for essential infrastructure and facilities tailored to the needs of female legal professionals. We are striving for the reason to do this because when I joined this office as a secretary, and the first day when I asked me is restroom for the secretary, the staff answered me, we don't have any separate restroom for the secretary because we never expect that a female shall be our secretary in future. So this, you can see how the institution is formed when a female took charge of the some leadership position. But anyhow, we are striving to create a more inclusive and supportive working environment. And looking ahead, we aim to cultivate, I forgot to mention that in addition to these accomplishments, the Commission organized the past 2 years to very successful and impactful conferences that focus on the women's rights, empowerment, and equality in our national fabric. And looking ahead, we aim to cultivate a society where gender equality is not just a principle, but a lived reality for every individual. In conclusion, I from our unwavering dedication to championing women's rights and empowerment, guided by the core tenets of justice, equality, and progress. In the wise words of Judge Sonia Somajar of US Supreme Court, we should not be afraid to be the light in the darkness, the advocate for justice, and the voice for those who cannot speak for themselves. Let us continue to be just as strong, shaping a more equitable future for all. Thank you.
Can you share your journey from serving as a civil judge in the district courts to your current role as a research officer at Supreme Court of Pakistan? What challenges did you encounter along your way?
Here I am representing government. I'm truly honored to be embracing this important occasion to reflect on our professional industries as female judges. This gathering marks not just a dialogue about our careers as judicial officers, but also about the resilience we embody, the opportunities we seize, and the milestones we accomplish in the often challenging landscape of law, with a special emphasis on the strides made by government. My pride is beyond compare because I have my own story of struggle. As all you know, positioning of a judge is a tough journey. It was full of challenges and scrutiny. But the transition from a lower middle class background of a small city to becoming a foreign educated judge was not a straightforward. So we are the women of 21st century and have to break the barriers and also to differentiate the words sympathy and empathy. I remember at the very beginning of my career, I was posted at Malton Courts, Lahore, which is considered the toughest station in respect of criminal work. I found myself as the only female judge among 20 male counterparts. Initially, my ability to manage criminal proceedings faced doubts due to the gender-wise view that confined female judges to civil and family matters. This underestimation of my capabilities was a challenge I faced head-on. Determined to demonstrate that competence in criminal law beyond the concept of gender. I've worked hard to show that women can be just as good at handling criminal cases as men. And over time, I proved that I could do the job well, just like my male colleagues. My career has been a testament to her strategy, having served in various judicial capacities across criminal justice, civil matters, family law, execution proceedings, and administrative matters having different districts.
So Ms. Gilay, you recently returned from abroad after completing your LLM. What motivated your decision to return to your home country rather than pursuing your career abroad, especially when you have a career opportunity over there? Please tell us about something.
Yeah, I'm coming on this point. But first, I just want to tell a turning point in my career, in my professional group, actually. That was encouragement I received. The encouragement that I received, that was the then Chief Justice of Punjab, Justice Mansoor Shah. Yeah, in 2016. His advocacy for the empowerment of female judges and the influence of contemporary legal knowledge in an international perspective significantly influenced my trajectory. This encouragement, coupled with my diverse judicial experience and the persistent pursuit of professional excellence, propelled me to distinguish myself academically. I take immense pride in being the sole judge in Pakistan to have been awarded the Australia Award Master Degree Scholarship through a rigorous national process. This scholarship facilitated my master's by research with distinction at the prestigious International T.C. Weller School of Law at the University of Queensland, Australia, contributing significantly to a legal academia through my research publication. This academic ability paved a way for an offer from the University of Queensland, Australia, to pursue a PhD on fully funded scholarship, the first of its kind in global south due to its unique topic. This academic excellence has not only advanced my career, but also led to my recent appointment as a research officer by the Supreme Court of Pakistan. So, through this experience, my dedication to personal and professional development has remained steadfast. So my message today, I just limited my words. My message today is the testament to resilience, confront the challenges, embrace every opportunity, and celebrate our accomplishments with pride. There is no limit to our potential when we are determined. Let's continue to shatter ceiling and forge ahead towards our goals as a woman. So celebrate womanhood not only on 8th March, but 24, 7, and 365 days of the year. And sorry, the question, I didn't continue my, yes, I was offered PhD in Australia, and I was also offered a job of examiner in Australia, University of Queensland. But I just left everything because the country and the organization which gave me a lot, I want to celebrate. Thank you so much. And inshallah, if my organization, my department will give me permission, then I will definitely proceed for PhD and prove myself that a woman in Pakistan are not weak.
We wish you good luck.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So turning to Mr. Kiswana, a lot of luck. Would you please let us know what do you think are the challenges faced by women entering the legal profession? I would request to be brief, kindly.
I hope I'm audible enough.
Not much.
Oh, sorry. Hi everyone, good afternoon. And first of all, I would just like to say that it's a matter of great honor for me to be sitting here amongst these remarkable women and to address literally the finest of the legal fraternity of Pakistan. So thank you for providing me this opportunity. Now, moving on to answering the question regarding the challenges faced by Pakistani women. And I would like to just cite some of my personal experiences and the experiences of some of my friends who've been graduated and had similar experiences. So when I was about to graduate, this was like 2 months before my graduation, I started applying for jobs at law firms and I started giving interviews. But to my surprise, one of the consistent questions that I was asked, oh, when are you getting married? And I thought to myself, I didn't get the memo for that. And 2 years later, I still don't have the answer to that question, when I'm getting married. So, but now I realize, and I mean, with time, I realize that this question is deep rooted in the perception that the senior lawyers have that we don't want to take female associates because they will leave practice after 6 months. They will get married, or they would. It's a tough profession. They won't survive in this, and they won't like the tough figure and everything. But my counter question to those senior lawyers is that how are you so sure that your male associates are going to stick around? Like 2-3 years later, they might establish their own practice, or they might go to Middle East for better prospects. So this bias and discrimination right at the interview stage, I was confronted with that. Now moving on to the next stage, that for example, if you're lucky enough to get hired in a law firm, and especially a litigation law firm, so like one of the things that I was working at a corporate law firm, but my friends were working at a litigation law firm, and one day I called my friend and said, "How are you? Are you liking the court experience?" And she was like, "I don't go to court." I was like, "Why?" Because she said that it's a culture, and this is one of the top law firms I'm talking about, that there is this culture prevalent that they don't take their female associates to courts because you know the situation, कचहरी में क्या होता है, civil courts में क्या होता है, और वो सब सारी चीजें. So I was just thinking that you are doing the research, you are doing the drafting for the case, and you are doing the hard work. But when it comes for acknowledgement and arguing before the court, it's the male colleague who is taking that credit. And when you're not going before the court and your judge doesn't recognize you, your judge doesn't know that you work on this, your judge doesn't even know your name. And how are you taking how are you, will you establish your clientele then? So it's all about networking as well. I feel like that in law firms, the culture of not taking female associates reduce them of the opportunities they get going to the courts and networking and establishing their clientele. And lastly, I think just to be short, I would just like to say that there is a major issue, and I also observed this in the Supreme Court with utmost respect, that there is a major gender sensitization issue in the judiciary overall. And one of the main reflections is through the language. The language we use at the Supreme Court, at the lower courts, everywhere in the legal profession is just not inclusive. Like, for example, I'll just give an example. Like, if it's a male lawyer, judges would call them learned counsel. And if it's a female lawyer, they would call them BB. And this is so important that my identity is far beyond that. Okay, I'm just a woman. I'm also a woman, but I'm also a lawyer. I would like to be called with my profession, not just my identity or my gender. So the use of patronizing language and the use to be associated with either someone's daughter or someone's sister, this is not needed. And I think we young women, we recognize that this patronizing language needs to be fixed. So,
Ms. Sara Shafar, staff member of Supreme Court of Pakistan. Ms. Sara, would you like to let us know about the challenges you faced and achieved so far while working at Supreme Court of Pakistan?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Let me introduce myself. मैं सैर शफाक पाकिस्तान के मुख्तलिफ अदालतों में बतौर टेलीफोन ऑपरेटर खिदमत सर अंजाम दे रही हूँ. मैं कुदरती तौर पर जो मेरी डिसेबिलिटी है, मैंने कभी भी इस चीज़ को इशू नहीं बनाया, क्योंकि इसमें सबसे जो बड़ा हाथ है वो मेरे अब्बू का है. फादर ने मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट किया जिंदगी के हर मामले में और मेरी बहुत ज़्यादा मुझे इंकरेज किया. मैंने अपना इस्लामाबाद यूनिवर्सिटी से कंप्लीट किया और इस सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जॉब से पहले मैं प्राइवेट जॉब भी करती रही हूँ और फिर अपने करियर की तरफ भी मतलब मैं गामजन रही हूँ. मैंने कभी भी किसी की बातों पर ध्यान नहीं दिया. जिसने भी जो कुछ कहा मैंने उसको बहुत हिम्मत और हौसले के साथ फेस किया और अपनी अचीवमेंट्स के विजन को जारी रखा. तो मेरा बस ये मैसेज है कि मैं कहना चाहती हूँ कि हमारे मर्दों को अपनी खवातीन को भरपूर सपोर्ट करना चाहिए. जैसे कहा जाता है कि एक कामयाब मर्द के पीछे एक औरत का हाथ होता है, ऐसे ही मैं ये कहूँगी कि एक बाहिम्मत और हौसलामंद खातून के पीछे भी एक मर्द का हाथ होता है. बस मैं ये कहूँगी कि अपनी खवातीन को सपोर्ट करें और थैंक यू सो मच.
Thank you, ladies, all of you. I am so proud of you and thank you for sharing all of that with everyone. I think we all understand better why men need to attend these events because you are in the majority at the workplace and you've been there for so long, as Sarah put it, that as if it's your birthright. And oftentimes, when women enter the profession, we do feel like we're not welcome and the official space is not as open to us as it is for men. I would like to say that Farah made a very important point to the women out there as well, that you need to make an effort as well. Don't wait for an invitation, make your own space, create your own space. But it doesn't hurt for men to be a little bit more inviting and welcoming because you are in the majority. And if nothing else, then to at least not make it an unwelcome place, not make us feel like we are the anomaly, that the workplace is your territory, you belong there, and we are invaders. And there are different ways to make us feel that. I don't want to repeat what the participants said because they all made their point very eloquently. There are so many more examples that we can all give you, but At the same time, I would like to appreciate what I really like about Justice Mansoor Ali Shah Saab. Every time I meet him, he always extends his hand to me for a shake hand. And I appreciate that because at times it gets very awkward. That when you're in a room, and invariably I'm the only woman in the room, as I'm sure all of you have experienced as well. And so, a new person will come into the room, they'll go around the room shaking hands, and when it comes to me, it's a very awkward, Assalamualaikum. So, shaking hands is just a very nice, it's a very good way to break the ice. And I do understand that some people are not comfortable. Honorable Chief Justice out here is not. So we need to be mindful of that as well. But where it's not a problem, it just feels a little bit, as if you're being excluded or left out, or, when you're going through introductions to just skip over a woman. That's a little rude, and it also makes you feel like you don't belong. So these are just some of the issues that we face at the workplace, and unless men are sensitized, we can't make a difference. And why is it important? Well, we're all trying to make the workplace a little bit more inclusive. Why is that important? It's important, especially in this field of judiciary, which is all about standing up for people's rights. And if it's not representing the society, I mean, I just recently read somewhere, which I really like, that the judiciary needs to reflect the society it serves. And our judiciary is not doing that. It's lacking in so many ways other than women also. So if we are to make it more inclusive, we need the help of our male counterparts. We can't do it alone. And for that, we need sensitization. I do understand that sometimes you might genuinely have some misunderstandings, or you may not know how to approach a certain matter, because women in the workforce is a novelty. And we're going through that, sort of transition phase where it's only now that more and more women are coming into the field, and we do come from a conservative, largely segregated society. Please ask questions. Please give us a chance to explain where we're coming from. And you'll be surprised, because I think all the ladies who are sitting here are an example that when you invest in women, when you give them opportunities, when you give them wings to fly, they will surprise you. And last point, don't underestimate the capabilities. We heard from Huma. There is that concept of the frenemy, as I like to call it, because I'm sure that they're well-meaning, but sometimes they will be full of advice and will tell you, don't venture out into that area or this area, because women are supposed to be fragile and faint-hearted. I don't know where that concept comes from, because some of the most courageous people I know are women. A recent example that we should mention, I'm sorry, I know I'm taking up too much time, but last one is the unfortunate incident that happened in Lahore about a week, 10 days ago. And, where the mob threatened this woman. I don't want to concentrate on the unfortunate aspect of it, it's too heartbreaking. But the silver lining is the hero of the day. The person who saved the day that day was a superhero without a cape and happened to be a woman. So, yes, a huge round of applause for her. Thank you.
Thank you so much, honorable ladies. The panel is getting together. We are very proud of you. You are wonderful ladies. That is, I call the married women who also deal with their husbands and kids. I call them superwomen. You all are superwomen. Except one, I think. Except two. Thank you so much. Justice Syed Mansoor Ali Shah, Judge Supreme Court of Pakistan, has been a prominent advocate of women's rights and gender equality throughout his tenure on the bench. His endeavors in this regard are reflected in several landmark cases, case laws, and judgments that have significantly advanced the cause of women's rights in Pakistan. One notable example is case of Khadija Siddiqui versus Shah Hussain, where Justice Shah presided over the bench
and overturned the acquittal and convicted Shah Hussain, emphasizing the importance of protecting women from violence and ensuring access to justice. This judgment was widely celebrated and as a significant victory for women's rights and highlighted Justice Shah's commitment to upholding gender equality and combating gender-based violence. Usmanavi versus FOP is yet another judgment on the harassment to the women at workplace. In Atif Zarif versus the state, Justice Shah advocated the dignity of women as a woman, whatever his words, a woman, whatever her sexual character or reputation may be, is entitled to equal protection of law. No one has the license to invade her person or violate her privacy. Justice Mansoor Ali Shah and an international newspaper captioned their judgment as Justice Mansoor Ali Shah called him Pakistan's Ibn Rushd or modern day J.S. Mill. In such Pakistan-like conservative cultural context, Mansoor Ali Shah's are blasphemed. Beyond individual cases, Justice Sayyid Mansoor Ali Shah has also been involved in judicial initiatives aimed at promoting gender equality and women empowerment. He has been actively engaged in judicial education programs focusing on gender sensitization and has contributed to raising awareness about women's rights issues within the legal community. He was the one who established first ever gender-based violence cases court in Asia while he was Chief Justice of the High Court. So big round of applause. Sir, I invite you to share your ideas with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. First of all, I just want to, I'm very impressed with the super women who were on the panel. A big hand of applause for everybody. Everything is still sinking in. It was wonderful. It was absolutely brilliant. So the Honorable Chief Justice is not there. Thank you for that. I think he just stepped out. This is the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, my colleagues from the Supreme Court, my colleagues and friends from the High Courts, judges, honorable judges. Mr. Williams, the head of Cooperation European Union. Mr. Wane, the country representative, UN Women Pakistan. Special thanks to both of you for setting up our studio. That will go a long way, and I'll just say a few words on that later. But thank you so much for supporting the FGA and being a partner to us in that. Experts from the National Center for State Courts, the FGA management, faculty, the judges of the district judiciary, and it's you. I mean, you're the heart of all this, you see. And we're doing all this for you. It's your show. The court staff, the law clerks and interns, they're also very important to us. And ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, assalamu alaikum once again. So first of all, a very, to all the wonderful and the super women in the room, very happy Women's Day. But for the men, please remember that the rest of the days around the year, it's a Women's Day for you. Remember, don't forget that. You must honor every day as a Women's Day. This day is only for them. We just honor their accomplishments and what good they've done. But for us men, we must remember that the rest of the days are, every day is a Women's Day for us. We must protect and honor women. So let me just start off by saying that we cannot progress unless we stop considering women as an exception. That's very important. We just think that they're just on the side and they're not mainstream. And that kind of thought process has to go. Malala was right in saying when she said we cannot succeed when half of us are held back. That is, look at the population, look at the demographics. 50% almost in the country are women. They need to be part of our entire development. They need to be part of whatever we do. They need to be part of our professional life. So we can't just think that they're exceptions and we're just going to sort of bring them in whenever we want. That's not how it works. So women belong in all places where decisions are being made. And I think that's the policy. Wherever there is decision making in this country, especially if we come to judiciary later on, wherever there's going to be decision making, women have to be a part of that process. That's how we're going to move forward. The shift in viewing women as exceptions to recognizing them as indispensable equals is the fundamental recipe for progress. We need to start thinking that they're part of us. You see, they're not somebody who are on the side. The inclusion of women in leadership and decision-making position leads to more effective governance. Women bring different perspectives and experiences to the table, which is crucial for innovation and problem solving. This diversity of thought is essential for addressing complex challenges and fostering innovation. Women play a central role in the well-being of families and communities. They are often responsible for health, education, and nutrition of their children, laying the foundation for the next generation's success. Societies that value women as equals see improvements in child mortality, health, and education levels. Gender equality is integral to achieving sustainable development. The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals explicitly include gender equality as both a goal and a means to reach other goals, such as ending poverty, promoting health, well-being, and ensuring quality education for all. Societies that value women as equals are better positioned to address environmental challenges and promote sustainable practices. As somebody said, to awaken the people, it is the women we must be awakened. It is the women who must be awakened. Once she is on the move, the family moves, the village moves, the nation moves. So if feminism aims to empower women and transform society into a place where rights and dignity of every person are equally respected, regardless of gender, if feminism is about ensuring that every individual has the freedom and opportunity to define themselves, make choices, and live a life free of discrimination and oppression, then I must declare very proudly that I am a feminist. Feminism isn't about making women strong. Women are already strong. It's about changing the way a world perceives their strength. So let me just now come to the statistics in Pakistan and then move on to the judiciary. Pakistan has a population of 243 million, while women make 49% or so of it. Despite having almost an equal representation, Pakistan ranks 142nd out of 146 countries, making it the fourth lowest globally in terms of gender parity. As a result, women remain unrepresented in most affairs of life due to the significant gender disparity. Such disparity is also visible in the justice system in Pakistan. So from 1923, when the Legal Practitioners Women Act 1923 was enacted to remove the legal bar on women from practicing law in British India, to 2024, the judicial system in Pakistan, although has seen considerable development, yet issues such as access to justice, gender responsiveness, and underrepresentation of women remain prevalent. According to the most recent statistics compiled by the Law and Justice Commission of Pakistan, there are only 562 women judges out of 300, almost 3,000 judges in the district judiciary. Women judges in the district judiciary in Pakistan is almost 17%. And that's not on. This has to change. This has to change. We need to take it to 50%. Interestingly, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa has the highest representation of women judges in the district judiciary as compared to their male counterparts. So 25%, that is 25%, followed by Islamabad, which is 23%, Punjab is 17%, Sindh 13%, and Balochistan 12%. So as we transcend towards the superior judiciary, there are a total of 2 women judges in the Supreme Court, which is about 11%, of 5 judges in all the high courts. Punjab has one judge, she's right here, and I'm happy that she's here. One judge out of 60 judges, which is less than 2%. So Punjab, I mean, the figures that are coming out, Punjab needs to be really ashamed of themselves. Then we're looking at Sindh, and we see just 7%. 3 judges, 3 female judges out of 40 judges. Islamabad has 1 out of 8, which is right, she's right here also, which is 14%. KP has no female judge anymore, and Balochistan does not have any female judge either. These are statistics that are worrying. We need to look at this. We need to think of our appointment policies. We need to think of diversity. We need to bring in women. We need to understand that they're 50% of the population. But where are they? We don't see them. We need to start seeing them. See, they need to be there. So we need to bring them in. So women in judiciary of entire Pakistan is 16%. And that's not very comforting on a Women's Day, you see. To sum up, women judges make up to 17% of the entire judiciary, which includes district and superior judiciary. There is no women judge in the Federal Sharia Court, by the way. And now up to the staff, which is 48,000 in the country, the paralegal staff in the country that services the judiciary, we just have 2% women in the system, which again is very dismal and very disappointing. However, the good note, we have a first ever registrar at the Supreme Court, we have a Director General at the KP, we have a Secretary and the Law Commissioner. So these are good stories also. I mean, not everything is depressing inside. But we never had a female Director General at the Federal Judicial Academy. Not saying that you're not doing a good job, sir, but I'm just saying that sooner or later we need to get a woman here heading this institution too. So what are the challenges actually, if I were to look at judiciary in the context of Women's Day in particular? So underrepresentation of women results in the absence of gender lens in shaping policies and delivering judgments and contributes to an environment that may not be founded on holistic, participatory, inclusive measures. Instead, it perpetuates existing disparities by reproducing inequities within the system. If you do not have women sitting as judges, if you do not have women working with you, it just sort of makes you go down further because you just do not understand. You're not sensitized to a number of things. The dimension is totally missing. The gender lens is gone. Low representation of women judges in the superior courts of the country is an issue. Low representation of women leads to lack of gender sensitivity in the justice system. The outlook and jurisprudence of most of the male judges lacks gender perspective because there's no interaction, there's no understanding of the dimension is missing. Lack of gender neutral language in the judicial pronouncements is missing. So lack of training, we need to work on that also. The process for appointment does not lay any emphasis on how to induct women and prefer women over the others. Constitution allows you to do that, Article 25. But we do not yet have a policy where we prefer a woman over a man to get them appointed as judges. We call it diversity, but we need to start, actualizing it in real terms, that we need to start bringing in women into our system. There is harassment and workplace discrimination, which people are silent about. They don't talk about. We got a survey done at the Federal Judicial Academy, and let me just tell you that we now have an online platform of WhatsApp where we can reach out to 3,000 judges with one click of a button. We could also reach out to 48,000 of our paralegal staff, thanks to the faculty at FGA who's created this platform. So we carried out a survey before this conference and asked them what their issues are. They're very silent about the harassment, not that much, they didn't say anything. But my information is that there is harassment and there is workplace discrimination. A lot of people don't talk about it. But I think people should talk about it. We had set up a committee in Lahore, which Justice Alia was a member of. If there's any female judge who has any issues, we could, under the law itself, create a committee who could let it come to and raise the issues. But you have to speak up. You have to speak up, and only then could we address these issues. You cannot be silent about it to all the female judges I'm talking about. This is an issue, and we must address it head on. A lack of proper infrastructure for women judges, including access to separate restroom, daycares, as was mentioned earlier. We're just putting sensitive in our infrastructure. We do not have at times toilets, we don't have places where they would go to. You just imagine that we all sit together and everything is just wonky dory, everything is fine. That's not how it is. Infrastructurally, there are limitations for our judges, especially the district judiciary. And it's about time that when we start looking at infrastructure and seeing how district courts ought to be built, we need to be very, very sensitive to the idea that we need to provide space for women judges. They need to have their own rooms, they need to have their own space. And at the same time, if they want to come and talk to the male judges, they could do that, but they need to have space. In Lahore, I've seen courts where they would have to walk out of their court, go from within the complex to some other corner to go to a toilet. That's just not on. That's just not on and has to go. So towards more gender responsive justice system, what could be suggestions? How do we sort of move forward? So first of all, representation of more women within the justice system is essential. It will not only promote gender equality, but also aid in overcoming gender stereotypes and improve decision making, enhancing social cohesion. A greater number of women present a fair representation and enhance public trust as it reflects the composition of society. So that needs to be done. We need to bring in more women. More judges are required. Now, this is a countrywide problem right now. An international benchmark, average international benchmark would be about 90 judges per million. And I'm talking about developed countries. 90 judges per million. We have 13 judges per million. You look at the difference. So we have 4,081 judges in the country. 4,081 judges in the country. We need to have at least 20,000 if we want to meet the international benchmark. So that would mean that we need 10,000 women judges in the country, not 564 that we have. So that's the kind of difference we're talking about. If you want to address the access to justice, and if you want to really bring in and meet the international standards benchmarking for per capita judges per million, as I said, 90 judges per million are required. With that formula applied to Pakistan, we need to bring in about 20,000 judges, in which I would say 10,000 female judges need to come into the system. We don't have that. So get ready for it, Women's Day. In order to ensure that the justice system is truly equitable, fair and gender responsive, it is imperative that both male and female judges are properly trained in the sensitivity and sensibility required to understand and consider gender perspectives. I think on a Women's Day conference, there should be more men than women. Because so the men that you want them to understand what's happening. So to say that a Women's Day conference has to be all women doesn't work for me. And when we were organizing this, I requested the Director General that we must have men sitting there because it's them that we're trying to sensitize. So whenever we do this, we need to bring men into training programs. We need to bring women into training programs. We want them to sit together and talk to each other. They don't eyeball. They don't talk to each other. Unless they talk to each other, they can't sort of break the barriers and, become better professionals, improving systems. So let's all do that. Let's all make an effort. Let's all make an effort. And I think the best place to do this is the Federal Judicial Academy. You just get together. You're all here from various provinces of the country. You have female judges here, male judges here. Time to talk, understand, get over it, man. And just, talk to them. Not an issue. So by prioritizing gender sensitivity and sensibility in the training of judges, the legal system can take an important step towards ensuring that all individuals, regardless of gender, are able to access justice freely and without prejudice. If we have a gender-based or a gender-sensitive justice system, then you're opening access to people also. A lot of people feel more comfortable coming and accessing this justice system. You're providing a better service delivery also because the system understands gender. Because that then seeps into your judgments, into your writings, and into the language that you're using. Judges should also strive to use gender-sensitive language in their judgments. An example of this is Pakistan Feminist Judgments Project, a project which aims to bring together female academics, practicing lawyers, judges, and legal researchers to engage in a thorough debate on specific Supreme Court judgments and visualize the merits of rewriting them from a feminist perspective. And in doing so, the project can show how the process of disrupting the construction of gender within law can ultimately benefit society. The purpose of the project is to show the intellectual value that women can bring to the interpretation of law in judicial pronouncements. And I think That's another exercise that the Academy could do. We need to start comparing how do women write a particular thing and how do men write the same thing. And compare it. Where is the difference? That delta needs to go. We need to understand how is a woman addressing a particular issue. Let's not say that a woman will only end up doing family cases. I disagree with that. You do everything that you want to do. You do criminal, you do all sorts of other work. But the perspective has to be understood. What's the difference? Where are we? What's the difference? That has to be understood. So use of gender-sensitive language acknowledges the existence of gender-based inequalities and biases and can help promote greater gender equality. As a result, judges will be using language that avoids reinforcing stereotypes or discriminatory attitudes towards gender. Then we need to have a policy balancing professional and personal responsibilities of women judges for adoption of flexible working conditions. We do not have we did a little bit of a transfer policy in Punjab, but I don't know if there's a national transfer policy, how judges get transferred from one station to another, talking about female judges. We don't have any sensitivity to that. We also do not have any conditions or understanding that what if they have a family? The registrar just mentioned that she moved in and she had no place to go and she had a family to move. We do not have a policy that provides for this. The judges of the Superior Court are comfortable. They just go, their house is ready, heater running, air conditioner running, food ready. That's not how district judiciary works. When you transferred, you just start looking for a place first, and if you're a woman, what if you're an unmarried district judge? What do? You send to a district, you don't know what to do. So how would you possibly concentrate in producing jurisprudence or deciding matters when you're worried about where to settle, where to go, where to, how to sort of set up a place? So I think we need to think about that. So then also better access to facilities within courts, such as separate courtrooms, seating spaces, washrooms, daycare centers, things that I mentioned. This infrastructural involvement is important. In Punjab, we provided cars to all the judges, female judges of the district judiciary. That was a sense of empowerment. And I'm quite sure some of them might be here from Punjab. They felt empowered. They were not dependent on any family member to drop them to the court. They felt that they were strong enough and they could just get up in the morning and just jump to court on their own and they were not dependent on anybody. Such like interventions are required to empower women. And I think Punjab has, women have cars there, and I'm quite sure the other stations also do, but we need to look at such things. So policy initiatives that contribute towards greater inclusivity of women in decision-making, leadership roles, registrar is a case, and we would want more district judges coming up. We want within the district, the decision-making doesn't take place, as I understand, that women are not involved in day-to-day decision-making. Some male judges get together in districts and start running the district. I wonder if in the governance of a district, of female judges involved, the way the male judges are involved. I don't even know that, Dilema was saying that she was the only judge sent to a particular station, they were all men. Why? Why isn't there a rational policy that you should have a certain number of female judges and a certain number of male judges? So all these things need to be thought out. We need to think of how the system is functioning. We're just not yet alive to these issues. We just say, okay, fine. There's a transfer policy. The whole thing is structured around men, and the women are just passing through it. That's not how it is. You need to go back to the drawing board, come up with a policy. How do we accommodate women and bring them at par with men? That's the story. That's what we should be doing. So training for judges, prosecutors, lawyers, court staff, or gender sensitivity training is important. And higher education opportunities, I keep stressing and underlining that I think any female judge or any district judiciary judge wants to go for an LLM, wants to go for a PhD, must be encouraged. In the end, with the permission of the Honorable Chief Justice, could I just propose a declaration, sir, if you allow, and then if everybody allows that in the end, we could just approve that. So there is a declaration on this Women's Day on behalf of the FGA, and with the blessing of the Honorable Chief Justice, I at least read it, and you can always not agree with it, but I hope that the foreign delegates here, as well as the Honorable Chief Justice, would approve it. So we, the delegates of the Conference on Women in Judiciary in Pakistan, organized on the auspicious occasion of International Women's Day, under the theme Invest in Women, Accelerate Progress at the Federal Judicial Academy in Islamabad, in collaboration with the UN Women in Pakistan, hereby affirm our unwavering commitment to the promotion of gender equality within the judiciary in Pakistan, and beyond. Recognizing the pivotal role of women working in the judiciary in upholding justice, advancing gender equality, and ensuring the protection of human rights, issue this declaration as a testament to our collective resolve to address the challenges faced by women in the judiciary in Pakistan and to acknowledge their contributions and achievements. Guiding principles: equality and non-discrimination. We affirm that gender equality is a fundamental principle of justice and pledge to combat gender discrimination in all its forms within the judiciary in Pakistan. Inclusivity and diversity. We commit to foster an inclusive judicial environment that values diversity and ensures equal opportunities for women at all levels in the judiciary in Pakistan. I don't know if any of you disagree. Empowerment. We recognize the importance of capacity building in empowering women judges, aspiring women judges, and members of the staff that support their professional development and advancement. Leadership and representation. We underscore the need for increased representation of women in judicial leadership positions and commit to support policies and practices that facilitate women's access to these roles. Work-life balance. We acknowledge the challenges faced by women in judiciary in Pakistan in balancing professional and personal responsibilities and advocate for the adoption of flexible working conditions and support systems. Safety and security. We emphasize the importance of ensuring a safe and secure working environment for women in the judiciary, free from harassment, violence, and intimidation. We urge logistics to be upgraded accordingly for preservation of privacy and dignity of women working in judiciary in Pakistan. International cooperation. We call for enhanced international cooperation and exchange of best practices to promote gender equality within the judiciary on a global scale. Actions. To actualize these principles, we commit to the following actions. Number one, policy reforms. Advocate for and contribute to the development and implementation of policies that promote gender equality and support women's advancement in the judiciary. Number two, capacity building. Organize and participate in training programs, research endeavors, and other initiatives designed to enhance skills and knowledge of women in judiciary. Number three, research and data collection. Support and undertake research initiatives aimed at gathering data on the status of women in the judiciary in Pakistan for informed policy and practice. Number 4 or 5, networking and advocacy. Foster networks of women judges, legal professionals, and women support staff in judiciary to facilitate exchange of experiences, strategies for overcoming challenges, and advocacy for gender equality. Public awareness. Engage in public awareness campaigns to highlight the importance of gender equality and to showcase the contributions of women in judiciary. Conclusion. In solidarity, we adopt this declaration as a roadmap for action and a call to all stakeholders to join us in our effort to invest in women and accelerate process towards a more just, equitable, inclusive judiciary in Pakistan. Together we can and will make a difference. Do we adopt this, sir? Could you raise some hands here? I don't see my Chief Justice raising his hand. It's adopted. Thank you very much. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen. Did I force that?
Thank you so much, Honorable Mr. Shah. Ladies and gentlemen, please extend a warm welcome to Jeroen Willems, the distinguished head of Corporation, European Union, to Pakistan, with a diplomatic career marked by a steadfast dedication to fostering cooperation and dialogue. Mr. Jeroen Willems embodies the spirit of international collaboration as we explore avenues for promoting gender equality in the legal sphere. Mr. Jeroen's insight into European Union and Pakistan relations and global perspectives on women's rights will provide invaluable guidance. A round of applause for Mr. Jeroen Willems.
Assalamu alaikum. Honorable Chief Justice, Justice Ghazi Faiz Isa, Honorable Judge of the Supreme Court of Pakistan, Justice Mansoor Ali Shah, a true champion of gender equality, as I've learned today. I'm truly impressed. Director General, Federal Judiciary Academy, Mr. Hayat Ali Shah, honorable judges of the Supreme Courts, of the High Courts, UN Women Country Representative, Mr. Manzana Bone, we've been spending so much time together over the last few weeks. Dear ladies, and indeed also dear gentlemen, I think that was a correct remark. International Women's Day is as much about men as it is about the women. So first of all, happy International Women's Day to all of you, men and women. It's indeed a day, as has been mentioned already quite a few times, that reminds us to continue our efforts to increase, to continue our efforts to create equal opportunities for women at all levels in the society, to strive to elevate them into leadership positions in all institutions. And judiciary should not be an exception to this. We heard some of the numbers today. 17% only of the, let's say, justice workforce are women. With that, I have to say you're actually below the Pakistani average when it comes to women participation in the formal sector, which is also not particularly high. It's 20%. You are above, if that is of help. I was earlier, I think last week, we were launching a gender responsive policing policy together with the National Police Board in Islamabad. At the police, it's 2%. So you're not trailing behind, but I think we need to increase those numbers. I was very impressed and inspired by the panel. I learned a lot about all of you, and I'm deeply impressed by your personal stories and narratives, all of trying to go against the stream. And I hope when more women go along against the stream actually will change, and the stream will be with the stream. I've seen this in other countries, and we can create together a snowball effect. I liked very much the narrative of 1923 when a woman was not considered a person. So clearly, we've come a long way from that. It also reminded me when I met a couple of weeks ago the newly appointed head of the boards of the National Vocational Technical and Training Commission, Ms. Romina Bilal. She showed me actually, she just entered into her office and she showed me this plate that you always have in ministries and institutions with the name of the head of the institution. And on that plate it said chairman. That was really interesting. So clearly we can hopefully also change chairmen wherever we have them in the different institutions into chairperson. And indeed, since 1923, that includes women. So the European Union is very much supporting efforts such as the one that we are witnessing today, the inauguration of the studio, which we hope will bring justice closer to people and make for a more gender-responsive justice system. And we do this through our Deliver Justice program. And this program is implemented by 3 UN agencies, UN Women, UNDP, and UNODC. And we focus our efforts on 2 provinces, KP and Balochistan, with some support as well at the federal level, such as the one that we're seeing today. The project aims to strengthen the capacity of justice sector actors, especially judges, for speedy and gender-responsive dispensation of justice. The major focus of the program is on women empowerment, including by enforcing women's rights and gender equality. And here we are really very happy to partner up with our friends and colleagues from UN Women. Actually, earlier this week, I was in KP. I visited the Justice Academy, but unfortunately, I was greeted by men, because you were not there. I also had the pleasure to meet several rural women in the province. And clearly, there is the law, but there's also the implementation of the law and the awareness of people's rights. So we were, through this project, trying to find ways to get rural women, often quite vulnerable ones to actually be better aware of what their rights are, be it on property, inheritance, or also when they're confronted with sexual abuse or violence, and to find a way to help them enforce their rights and help each other also enforce their rights. And again, it's a bit of a snowball effect. By creating networks and getting, let's say, a group of people to work in this direction, bit by bit, we can make a change. It's no longer 1923, it's 2024. Hopefully, we don't need to wait another 100 years to make the type of change that we are advocating for, and as just mentioned in this declaration. So I would like to very much commend the Federal Justice Academy, or the Judicial Academy, it's the Justice Academy in KP, it's the Judicial Academy in Islamabad, for convening today's conference on women in judiciary. As I said, it was truly inspiring. And we also very much hope that the recommendations from this conference will shape a more women-centered judiciary aided by technological advancements. I very much appreciate the final declaration of today's conference that was unanimously adopted by all of us, with a very strong and sound chairmanship of the Honorable Justice Mansour Ali Shah. I do hope that we don't stop at lofty declarations and as of Monday we'll start the business as usual, but that we do commit all of ourselves, men and women, to concrete milestones and targets so that we can really move forward, reaching our common objectives. We don't need to wait until 2124 to get where we want to be. So with that, big thank you to all the women, but also all the men in this room. Wish you all the good luck in implementing this beautiful declaration. Shukran.
Before we extend a formal invitation to our esteemed chief guest, Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, let me acknowledge that Honorable Chief Justice has championed efforts to raise awareness about women's rights issues and has encouraged dialogue and collaboration between the judiciary, government, and civil society organizations to address gender inequalities effectively. Chief Justice Isa has been vocal about the need to address gender disparities within the legal system, and he has always advocated for gender-sensitive interpretation of laws to ensure equal rights and opportunities for women. His judgments have often emphasized the principles of equality and non-discrimination, setting important precedents for gender justice in Pakistan. One significant case highlighting his dedication to women's rights is case of Pakistan Broadcasting Corporation versus Federation of Pakistan and others. In this case, Justice Qazi Fazisa, along with the bench, issued directives to ensure the protection of women employees against harassment in the workplace. The judgment emphasized the importance of creating a safe and conducive work environment for women and underscored the need for strict enforcement of anti-harassment laws. I would like to refer another case that is of Principal Public 2022 School. This is a case of a girls' school attacked by a terrorist. Justice Isa referred the girls' rights to education in light of Islamic injunctions. There are so many other cases, Muhammad Rafiq, Zohra Mai, Janab Ali, and many others. Overall, Chief Justice Qazi Isa endeavors on the bench of the Supreme Court of Pakistan have contributed significantly to advocating women's rights and promoting gender equality in the country. His commitment to justice and fairness for all, regardless of gender, serves as a testament to his dedication to upholding the principles of equality and human rights. Please give a warm welcome to the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, Justice Qazi Isa. Can you please have your message, sir?
You must all be very tired by now. I was. If you want to stretch, get up, you're most welcome to do so. I'm going to change gears completely. First of all, I won't name anyone. I'll just call you all friends, unless anyone takes exception to that. so that saves time. We paint a dismal picture, but where did this picture get painted first? Where did discrimination start? And where did discrimination spread to? In 1960, women in America, the United States of America, could only open a bank account with their husband's permission. And this right was acquired in the United Kingdom as late as 1975. There are references to various laws I can provide. What then happens? Let's go to the United Supreme Court, the United States of America regarding married women, and they considered that women could not be separated from their male spouse. And I quote from American judgment, it is simply impossible that a married woman should be able to control and enjoy her property. And this is said in 1867. Let's proceed further. For the first time, after the passage of the Married Women's Property Act of 1882, in England, a married woman became capable of acquiring, holding, and disposing of her property. Previously, the minute she got married, it was that of her husband. What was the position in the Islamic world? We go back in time, 1,415 years ago. Quote, men shall have the benefit of what they earn and women shall have the benefit of what they earn. Absolute property right conferred by the Holy Quran in Surah An-Nisa, it's the fourth chapter of named after women, verse 32. And that was not enough. There was absolute prohibition from taking another's property, and that's again in the same chapter, verse 29. The position of women was such that the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, the Prophet of Islam, started his career working for a woman who later proposed to him, who was a widow, considerably more in age than him. She was 40, he was 25. She was the Lady Khadija, peace and blessings be upon her. She became the first Muslim, not a man, a woman. She supported him. He worked for her. She proposed to him. Can you imagine that even a few years ago in the West, where we are today? This is not an exception. I will just take a few minutes and just show what we talk about women's rights and how does the courts in Pakistan connect the two. Our constitution actually does not state that we can do whatever we want to. It starts with the saying that the sovereignty over the entire universe belongs to Almighty Allah, and all laws must conform to Islamic injunctions. We live in an Islamic society. So let's see what Islam gave to women, more or less, or far more than what is understood. I am not aware of any other religion which is, there are pillars of the faith in Islam. One is reading the namaz, the prayers, keeping fast, which will soon commence now, the month of holy month of Ramadan. One is a once in a lifetime Hajj, which is compulsory provided you have resources to do so, an adult has to do so. And a central feature of the Hajj is you tread a woman's feet. You do exactly what Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, peace be upon him, or Abraham's wife Hajar did. And this is predates Islam. She ran between two mounts, Safa and Marwa, and that's part of the Islamic ritual. Every person who does that has to do so. So he literally does what this great lady did, and she did. She was searching for water for her son, a prophet, Prophet Ismail, alayhi salam, peace be upon him. So this is the tradition, the oldest tradition mentioned in the Holy Quran. We start from there. And the mother searching for water. There are innumerable instances which we tend to overlook. The central feature, the importance of women in the religion. In fact, I don't see Islam without women as a central feature. We have then as spoken to the Prophet Abraham. Let's move to the Prophet Moses or Musa, peace be upon him. All his life, all his benefactors were women. A woman saved his life. He was rescued by a woman, the Pharaoh's wife. In our tradition, her name is stated to be Asya. She helped him. Two sisters, and they are known as the sisters of Median, they approached and gave to their father and gave him work. He married one of them, and it's a very rich tradition of, I shouldn't say women empowerment, but really men empowerment happening there in this fantastic story. The wife of Pharaoh, Asya, who brought him up as one of her own, her prayer is also mentioned in the Holy Quran. This is a very significant moment. It's the 66th chapter of the Holy Quran, verse 11. My Lord, make me a house near you in paradise, in translation. So this is a prayer of a woman finds mentioned in the Quran, which is reproduced therein. Then let's move on to another prophet. Prophet Isa alayhi salam, peace be upon him. His mother, Mary, in our tradition, Maryam, is mentioned 35 times in the Quran, more so in the Bible. The chapter is named after her. Are these things insignificant, or is there meaning in them for us to ponder about? She is mentioned as amongst women having the highest status amongst women. This is the third chapter, verse 42. Then it doesn't end there. It goes on and on, but we somehow don't focus on these stories. Then we have the persecution of the Prophet of Islam, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, when he had to flee from his place of birth, Mecca, and took refuge in Medina. Before he reached Medina, he was accompanied by his dear friend, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq, peace be upon him, and he was the first of the caliphs, who we refer to as the rightly guided caliphs. He was in hot pursuit by those who wanted to do him in. The two friends took refuge in the cave of Thor. And who brought them water? in sustenance. The fact which may any of you know here. Anyone can mention her name? See how few know this fact. She was pregnant and she brought them food and things. And in those days, the way you used to take water was to take it in a leather bag and tie it a knot on the top. And she used her waistband, tore it in half and tied it, the mouth of this. And then when the Prophet saw it tied like that, he understood what she had done and he gave her a title, the lady of the two nitaq, which is kamarband in our language, like a waistband. And she very proudly was very proud of that title. Any title that the Prophet would give to anyone, they would always use that in preference even to their own name. The first child born in Medina was her son, and she was pregnant, Abdullah bin Zubair. The story doesn't end there. She was not just providing water and sustenance. She fought in the Battle of Yarmouk herself, and this is 636, the 20th of August, 636, which resulted in the victory of the Romans being expelled from Syria. When Hajjaj bin Yusuf surrounded Mecca, her son, the same son, Abdullah bin Zubair, consulted his mother because it was considered this a lost cause. Should I surrender or continue fighting? And her response to her son, to die fighting for the truth is preferable than to live a life of subjugation. They lost. Abdullah bin Zubair was hanged by Hajjaj bin Yusuf. And when the mother went to retrieve his corpse, Hajjaj kind of tauntedly said to her, "See how I have destroyed your son's life." The brave woman now, she's a very old woman at this stage, and she answers to him, "Yes, I saw how you destroyed my son's world, but he has destroyed forever your hereafter." So these are the traditions. It's not cloistered women. These are women very much central in the Holy Quran, not playing supportive role things. This is part of the tradition of the Holy Quran. But in the traditions are, the primary source of traditions are the sayings of the Prophet of Islam, which we refer to as hadith. And Islam would be very poor without the contribution of the second greatest contributor to hadith law, which was after the death of Hazrat Khadija, he married Hazrat Aisha. She is the second narrator after Hazrat Abu Huraira. She collected the most number of hadiths and she's referred to as the source of them. So a source of knowledge. As a widow did not sit cloistered at home. She became very much a central feature in Muslim society, participated in battles herself. People would come to her for seeking advice. The tradition, now traveling further in time, the significance. Equality, sometimes I feel uncomfortable with the term. Equality in opportunity, yes, but equality otherwise, I don't quite understand what it means. As far as the judiciary is concerned, it's an equal, you provide equal opportunities to all to participate. It's a merit-based system, and we endeavor to redress wherever there is we find insufficiency. Another tradition, the four schools of fiqh in Sunni Islam, The first of them, the Maliki school's founder, the question came before him whether divorce can be given under compulsion. And he said divorce under compulsion is no divorce. This was construed by the then ruler, Al-Mansur. Someone said that you have extracted oath of allegiance, and people are using this fatwa, your religious ruling, that saying that that is not really an oath of allegiance. So he was called upon to withdraw it. He said he will not do so. He was tortured, he was imprisoned, he was lashed, the shoulder of his was dislocated, and he stuck in support of women's rights. And eventually he was paraded in town with his beard shaved. It was considered to insult him. And he responded, how any other person, a totally would have been, you would imagine, a broken man. And he said, because naturally without a beard, people may not recognize him. And his words were, those who know me will recognize me, and those who don't know me should know that I am Malik bin Anas, the son of Anas, and I say, divorce given under compulsion is no divorce. So this was the adherence to the truth that under no circumstances must we give up. Adherence to, I mean, it could have easily said something or the other or qualified a statement, but the extreme example of standing up for women's rights, the importance, again I go to scripture, and I quote from the 46th chapter of the Holy Quran, verse 15, we have enjoyed on man kindness to his parents. In pain did his mother bear him, and in pain did she give him birth. So central feature, importance, significance, understanding, empathizing, sympathizing with what a woman goes through. There is a very famous saying of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, heaven lies under the feet of your mother, not the father. Another well-established hadith, which is reported in the two most significant hadith works, Bukhari and Muslim. Someone came to the Prophet and was asked, who should I honor most? He says, your mother. He said, then who? He said, your mother. Then who? He said, your mother. And then who? Your father. Father came at number 4. First 3 honors went to the mother. How did our quality develop? Coming to the subcontinent, we hear about the two great Maulanas who were in the freedom movement well before the conception of Pakistan, the Maulana Muhammad Ali Jawhar and Maulana Shaukat Ali. Their mother, B. Amma, was a very strong, powerful personality who encouraged them. When the founder of the nation, Mr. Jinnah, constituted his Central Working Committee of the All India Muslim League, which comprised of one extreme would be Balochistan, and the other end would be present-day Bangladesh, then East Pakistan. He ensured that there was a woman in that committee, Central Working Committee, very few members. My father was one of them, and Begum Muhammad Ali, the widow of Maulana Muhammad Ali, was a permanent member. You'll see a lady, and she is in photographs. You'll see she's in a parda in all pictures of the Central Working Committee of the All India Muslim League. The founder, his marriage did not last, but to ensure that women would come forward and play their role, he always took his sister Fatma Jinnah wherever he went. She did not hold any position in the party, but she was always by his side, very visible in photographs, otherwise very visible as well. And when there was the draconian martial law of General Muhammad Ayub, they turned to her to lead the opposition. They turned to a woman. The founder of the Muslim League said, very famously said, you educate a boy, you educate a person, you educate a girl, you educate a family. So this is our tradition. Pakistan had the first woman prime minister in the entire Muslim world in 1988, again elected in the year 1993. But then we must also come to terms with what happened subsequently, how things turned. We started the rights that were secured long ago, and the central feature of women's rights that were mentioned. We don't hear stories of women generally when you have an Islamic discourse. Who is the best amongst you is the one with the greatest of faith. No discrimination on the ground of race, creed, color, gender, or anything. So this is very rich traditions. Somehow I feel we started emulating the worst of the West, and they went through this phase and they've come out of it, and we've kind of gone there and got stuck there in many other things as well, whether it's the destruction of the environment, whether it is other things, and whether, I don't know, if providing cars is better than providing bicycles. I may take issue with my distinguished colleague, but that's how it is. So I would go back to a couple of decisions of mine. Some have been cited. I won't mention. One was mentioned was the destruction of an all-girls school in Swat that was bombed. It's in Sangota, place called Sangota, public school, all-girls school, and the misguided, the deluded, those who think they are advocating the cause of Islam, prohibited women from seeking education, and this school was closed for about 5 years because it had come under terrorist acts. I'll just read a bit from the judgment, which relies upon the Holy Quran, and this is paragraph 10 of this judgment. The first command from Almighty Allah to Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and through him to humanity, was Iqra, read. Iqra is a command. It is expressed in the command form of the Arabic verb. This first command proceeds to then mention the pen, qalam, and education or learning, ilm. Of the myriad of things that the most benevolent Creator could have conveyed in the first revelation in the Holy Quran, He in His infinite wisdom and mercy considered reading, writing, and education to be of the primary importance. It goes on that this is not addressed to men, it is addressed to all human beings. So another little bit from this judgment, Islam was inclusive and non-discriminatory. And I quote from the Holy Quran, verse 13 of Al-Hujarat, chapter 49. The most honored of you in the sight of Allah is the one who is the most righteous, unquote. Race, color, status, wealth, gender was submerged under the Islamic equality principle. Ironically, education has come under attack in the Islamic Republic of Pakistan, despite the constitution guaranteeing equality of sexes. So I try to use as much as of the faith because our audience is primarily Muslims, and when those professing to belong to a particular faith commit acts of violence which are completely contrary to all the teachings, then it becomes our duty to stand up and point out the error of their ways, do so with the grace. They do so with bombs, we do so with words, they do so with bullets, we do so with pens. They do so with bombs. We do so with polite teaching and reminding them of what the Holy Quran has said. And inshallah, we will succeed and take all of us, which includes I can't imagine a world without women, so equality, etc. I would like to go to the next level of this. I was in Turkey and I heard a phrase which I thought was so beautiful. I mentioned pregnant lady, the lady Asma, who helped save the prophets and his companions' lives, with peace and blessings be upon them. And a pregnant woman in Turkey is known as Iki Janga, in the Turkish, a lady with two souls. What a beautiful thought. Thank you for your participation, and thank you for setting up with me and making it.
We are grateful to the Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan, Mrs. Khalifah Aziza, and we are also very, very thankful for the presence of Mr. Isa and Muhammad Soul. They have really encouraged us in their way over there. Thank you so much. Now here comes a moment for some gratitudes and memories preservation. So I would like to request the Director General for Judiciary to present and Mr. Ramzana Bune to present souvenir, just a symbol of this presence or memory from our side to Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan. This is Khalifah Isa, and I also would like to invite Honorable Ma'am, this is Ms. Serena Isa, to please come forward. One is for Honorable Chief Justice of Pakistan and one is for Ms. Serena Isa. Now I request Honorable Justice Mansoor Shah and then Huma Mansoor to please come forward and receive their souvenirs. Now I request Mr. Yaroon Williams, Head of Corporation, European Union, to please come forward and receive your statement.
वही देने सारों को ये पैनल इसकी है जिला से लेके यहाँ तक मुझे पता है
Now I request our Director General to present souvenir to Laksana Wale, Country Representative UN Government Pakistan. Now I request you both of them to please remain on the stage, and I request Mr. Saman Rifat Imtiaz, Honorable Judge of Islamabad High Court, I was very mistakes earlier as well, to receive your souvenir. Now I request Mr. Disaster, Registrar Supreme Court of Pakistan, to please come forward and receive your souvenir.
Just
I request Ms. Farah Sheikh, Director General, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Federal Judicial Academy. Please come forward. Now I request Mr. Inaugural, Secretary, Law and Justice Commission of Pakistan. Now I request Ms. Dilek Umar, Research Officer, Supreme Court of Pakistan. Please come and receive your certificate. Ms. Bilkis Bano, Law Clerk, Supreme Court of Pakistan. Ms. Saira Shafar, Staff Member, Supreme Court of Pakistan. Now the organizing committee for Judicial Academy. I request Mr. Fakhar Zaman, Director Dynamics and Training, please come forward and receive your souvenir. Ms. Ashna Ilaj Sufi, Director IT. Mr. Shazek from UN Women. And lastly, I request Mr. Jahazeb Akhtar, Additional Director for Judicial Academy, to please come forward and receive your souvenir. Thank you so much, Director General, and Ms. Sansanavani. Thank you so much. Before we conclude, a heartfelt, I'm not getting anything. I have made so many mistakes today. Before we conclude, I'm heartfelt thankful to all of the participants, dignitaries, and distinguished guests for gracing us with your presence. Kindly join us for the tea downstairs. Thank you so much. We are very grateful for your presence, and especially Ms. Uma and Ms. Serena. Thank you so much. Thank you.
I'm not